Hi, thank you for renting through Nikki Homes. I'm here today just to explain a little bit more for you as to how the lettings process works. So if you have seen a property and you have now applied through our online application form, which is sent to you normally through a company called Van Builder, which you will then complete online and will be sent to the landlord to confirm they are happy to proceed with your application. Once that process has been received, you will be sent a holding deposit form. The holding deposit form can be signed electronically. You must ensure that you read the holding deposit form correctly and you ensure that you record the bank details recorded on the holding deposit form before you sign the deposit form. As once the signing is complete, you will not get that holding deposit form back. So please ensure you record the bank details prior to signing the holding deposit form and make sure that you make a note of what reference you also need to place on there. Once the holding deposit form is signed and you have paid your holding deposit, you will then start the referencing process. As I said, this is normally completed through Van Builder. That will require you to provide credit check, an employer's reference and a previous landlord reference. If you have not rented previously, we may require a character reference. This will be asked of you from the lettings girls as we proceed. If you are a self-employed, you will normally be asked for bank statements and at least 2 years worth of books. If you are an employed contract but a 0-hour contract, you may not pass referencing and therefore you may require a guarantor or rent in advance. If you require a guarantor or a rent in advance, the lettings girls will be in touch as soon as possible. Regarding a guarantor, they must meet the criteria specified by the lettings girls and have no adverse credit history. Rent in advance is normally a minimum of 6 months payments up front if you require this. It's not often required, but if it does, that's what you would be looking at. Once Van Builder start processing your referencing, if you need to find out at any time how the referencing process is going, please feel free to drop over Van Builder and email directly and they will be able to come back to you or a phone call as to where your referencing is at. Once the referencing is complete, you've paid your holding deposit, you've had your referencing done, you've provided your identification for right to rent checks. Minimum requirement is a passport, but you will be advised what you need to require for your right to rent checks. Then the girls will start looking at your legal documentation. Legal documents are normally drawn up 2 working days after your referencing process. The referencing process can take up to a week or 10 days at most, depending on how long it takes for your employer to come back. Once the referencing process is complete, it is confirmed that the property is yours, subject to obviously paying the initial information and also paying the initial deposit, initial rent, and as long as your guarantor or nothing changes in your circumstances between when your referencing was completed and signing your tenancy agreement. As said, your legal documents will normally be drawn up to you about 2 days after your referencing process is complete. These will be sent normally electronically for you to sign, apart from guarantor documents which will need to be signed physically in ink. If you have any questions throughout the entire lettings process, please feel free to email the girls and they will come back to you as soon as possible. Once your legal documents are signed, a check-in day will be arranged. Check-in times are normally 9 a.m. check-ins on every single day, apart from Saturdays and Sunday, where we do not work for check-ins. If you have any questions, please feel to ask them, and the inventory will also be provided on your check-in. But otherwise, we look forward to having you as a Nikki Homes tenant and hope that you have a nice, happy time in your new home. See you later.